Okay, so we just wanted to go through, we're working with a lot of clients, obviously implementing their Power Platform solutions and driving value, and everybody's using it in such different ways and deriving unique value for their organizations. So I just wanted to tell you about a few of the success stories that we've had with our customers and the value they've been able to provide in their organizations. So just a few key stats here to start off. Forrester Consulting conducted a study with IT decision makers on the benefits that they were seeing in their organizations through the Power Platform premium capabilities. So that includes the connectors, connecting and integrating with applications and solutions that you already have in your environment that are very common across companies. And of those surveyed, they found that they were seeing a pretty significant reduction in app development costs. And so where a lot of companies still have a significant team or size team of pro developers, those pro developers are then freed up to go work on, customer facing applications or revenue generating applications. And they are able to reduce the costs of solving business problems in their environment and taking applications and develop costs to their customers as well as their users. They also found that they were able to eliminate a lot of the legacy applications in their environment. So one customer that I'll talk about had a ton of custom applications that they had to build to fulfill their needs, their unique needs to serve their customers, to be more efficient internally. And with the Power Platform, they're able to eliminate a lot of those custom applications and the time that they're spending supporting them, extending them, and now they're able to spend that time on innovation. They also saw a good amount of reduction in the time that it was taking to go to market with solutions. So a lot of customers that we talk to have a large backlog of requests from their users, and they're having to prioritize, and they're not able to get to a lot of those. And so the Power Platform really enables companies to go to market faster, get business problem solved faster, delegate the development and solution creation within their organization to power users, and therefore reduce the time that they're able to go to market with solutions. And then overall, because of everything that I've talked to up to now, they were seeing 140% return on investment over 3 years with the Power Platform premium capabilities. So some of the ways that we have, I don't know, not advancing. Some of the ways that we've helped customers. So we worked with a national builder, and the builder was really seeing that as the demand for homes increased so dramatically over the last 3 to 4 years, as we've all seen, that their staff and their team was becoming a bottleneck. They could only service so many buyers. They could only follow up on so many sales leads, and their design center could only process so many buyers through. And they needed a way to enable their customers to be empowered to navigate more of the home buying process online on their own as time allowed. And this also, they were looking to appeal to younger buyers. And so they needed to improve the speed to close by empowering the buyer to, navigate options online for cabinets, paints, door handles, whatever the options are that you're selecting for a home, and allow the customer to think through that process on their own. So by the time they got to the builder team, that they had a good idea of what they were looking for, and the customer could spend less time with them, getting them to the house and the options that they wanted, and then in turn process more buyers through their teams. They had a lot of manual tasks and custom processes that they had put into place to overcome challenges that they were having around efficiencies. And so, as you all know, anytime there is human intervention in a process, there's going to be errors, and that causes delays. And so they really needed to eliminate that. And then they had a pretty inflexible reporting reporting tool set. And so they wanted to get data in the hands of more people in their organization so that the sales team could spend time on leads that were further along in the process and closer to making a decision to buying. They needed to get buyer preferences in the hands of their design teams so that they could be ready when they came into the design center with options for their house to expedite them through that process. And so this resulted in a solution of a Power App and Power Automate. So this customer, as we see in any industry, there are applications and solutions that are specific to that industry. And Power Platform isn't a replacement for those, but we can enable those solutions to be tied together and create a cohesive experience. And so Power Apps and Power Automate enabled the flow of data between systems. It enabled synchronizing of data so that data was at the hands, it was accurate between systems, and it was at the hands of employees. We also replaced their existing bot with the Power Platform virtual agents, which gives them that tight integration between the other Microsoft technologies. And then, of course, Power BI and natural language query allows them to put data at the fingertips of all of their employees whenever they need it. So they can use natural query language to say, hey, what are the sales for the month of February in this market? And they can quickly pull that up on the fly. And so they don't have people collating reports and compiling data and sending those out on a regular basis. It's a very self-service solution. So the expected results of this solution is a significant reduction in sales time. As I said, processing more buyers through their design teams and their sales teams, and doing more with less, what they have on staff and not having to expand their teams and hire a lot of additional employees. They say they're going to save a significant amount in supporting custom applications and building custom applications and improving their time to market for solutions that will be revenue generating. And then, a subset of employees had access to data prior to this project, and now almost every employee in the business will have access to the data that they need through the Power BI technologies. The next one is a global consumer goods manufacturer, and they had a very industry-specific product in their environment. It was costing them significant amount in licensing costs, and they were really only using a small amount of the products in the suite. And so they also had some manual processes around product design and assigning SKUs and pricing to products that was requiring a lot of back and forth. It was requiring significant time from the finance team to facilitate that process and to then in turn put the data into SAP. So what we did is we developed a model-driven Power App that would create the business process flow. So their product designers knew where they were at any given time in the process, and they could see the status of their products. And then we built some supporting Canvas apps that enhanced the user experience. They really wanted it to be, the IT stakeholder really wanted it to be a really nice experience for the product designer and felt like, to feel like they were getting an improvement over the prior system. And so that really helped enhance the solution. And then we implemented Power Automate, which reduced this custom middleware solution they had in their environment that served as kind of a stopgap to let the finance team do approvals of the products. And so we seamlessly created a Power Automate solution to facilitate that approval process, and then integrated directly with SAP so that once the product is approved and the SKU is assigned and it's priced, it goes directly into SAP. And then we used on the back end Azure Blob Storage. They had data all over the place. They had various versions of this solution in their environment and areas in which data was being stored. And so now everything is in Azure Blob Storage, so it's centrally located and whoever needs to access it can access it. And it's also a cost savings. So the benefits of this solution was a significant reduction in software licensing costs for a suite of products that they were only using a small piece of. Also a significant reduction in time that the finance team was spending going back and forth with various teams on approving the products, getting clarifications. That was all facilitated. That's all facilitated now via the Power Platform solution. And then prior to this, it was taking probably up to 2 days to go through this process between the designers and the finance team. And now it can be done within a matter of hours. All right, so I think we're actually running ahead of schedule, so we'll have a little time for questions. But I did want to talk about the way that we engage and also the workshop offer that you'll be eligible for as part of attending this webinar. And we'll capture some information here in just a second. So we kind of engage in a unique way. We have a managed service that there's a small engagement up front where we help you establish governance quickly. Identify those key metrics that you need to track, challenges that you're having in your business, who are the key stakeholders that you want to involve in the process. And we set up the COE toolkit for you and talk through security considerations and planning and the tool sets that you can use. And then we will also assign an automation lead to your your business. And that automation lead will help with managing the idea intake. And they'll curate that process. So, some customers will want to run all of the ideas through IT still, and that's totally fine. And others want to open it up to business users, and we can help facilitate that process. And more importantly, help prioritize. We've talked to so many customers that are like, we have so many ideas, but we can't, it's hard to filter through and figure out what is the highest priority and what's going to give us the biggest bang for our buck. And so we help facilitate that process. And then you can engage the Rockhop experts to either develop solutions, develop more complex solutions, and also mentor your power users. So you can start to really get some efficiencies in building out solutions and solving business problems. We're close to the problem by the people who know and are most intimate with the issues and challenges that they have in their jobs. We're by no means saying that you should open up development to everybody in your organization, but we'll help you do it in a very planful way to make sure that you are maintaining governance, it's driving the value that you're looking for, and also all of those objectives that we know that everybody has. And then, of course, as we do with everything, we will track measurable results so that you can take that to leadership and say, hey, look, here's the value that Power Platform is driving for our organization. Oh, I have a QR code too. If anybody wants more information, this is a link to our website. And then we'll also put our contact information up at the end here, and you can reach out directly to us. So I'll just give you guys a minute for that. All right. And then as part of this webinar, you're eligible for our ROI Accelerator workshop. It's a complimentary 3-hour workshop. We typically find that it works better if we break it up into 2 sessions, but we will pick off a real world business challenge that your organization is having. It can be a very simple project approval or approval workflow, or something that's a little bit bigger and more meaningful. And we will talk about what that means to your organization in terms of solving that problem and what the value of that would be. And then we'll also educate your team on the platform capabilities and do some whiteboarding around your solution while we educate you and, give you an idea of how the Power Platform can solve the business problem and what that would look like on the platform. And then we'll provide a summary of findings, which will give you some actionable next steps and capture some of the requirements and business objectives that we discussed during the workshop. Patrick, do you want to put the form in the chat, or did you already do that?
I
I
did put
can't
it in
see.
there.
See.
So yeah,
Great.
feel free to click that link. It's just a simple form. And then, uh, yeah, the team will be back in touch on getting that set up.
Yep. So let us know and we'll be sure to follow up afterwards. I'm having some PowerPoint problems here. There we go. So we'd love to talk about your plans for Power Platform. We'll go through questions here. I know there were a few in the chat. We'll talk about those with the broader group. But yeah, please reach out. We'd love to talk with you and hear what your plans are.